Hello friends, welcome to chess training. Myself Nikhil Joshi welcomes you to this lesson of endgame. In this video, we are going to learn about the concept of big square. What is big square? It is used in the positions of king and pawn endgame to find out whether our king can catch the pawn. In this example, it is black's turn to play. As we can see, black is left with the king alone. So what black will be trying? Black will of course try to go near the white pawn and stop him. So normally what the players will do? They will count, I will go here, he will go here, I will go here, he will go here, etc. But there is one more technique which can make the work very easy. So see, I will show you that idea. Just count how many steps do we need to become a queen. Like in this example, white needs 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 steps. So if you count 4 steps here, count 4 steps towards the king. So these are the 4 steps. This becomes a big square of the pawn. If the king enters inside this, he can catch the pawn. Like here he plays king here, enters inside the big square, white pawn walks forward. Now what happens is that big square has become smaller. See, 3 steps, 3 steps, 3 steps and 3 steps. So black king enters inside it. Again pawn walks forward, big square becomes still smaller, but black king enters. And finally the black king is successful in capturing the pawn and making a draw. So this is the concept of big square. Let's now go to another example of big square. In this example, it is white to play. So see, white player has got 2 pawns and black has got a king alone. So what will happen? Black king alone must stop both the pawns. If you see the big square, we can see white pawn has 3 steps. So you can count 3 steps here. This pawn also has got 3 steps. So you can count 3 steps here. And you can see that the king is in big square of both of them. But now see what happens. One of them starts running. The king goes behind him. Now the other one walks forward. And black king tries to catch this fellow as well. So as we can see, right now 2 steps, 2 steps and 2 steps, 2 steps. The king is in the big square of both of them. But now as white pawn walks forward, black king goes to chase him and the other pawn comes forward. Can you see now? The black king is not in a position to catch the other pawn. So when he takes this pawn, white makes a new queen and white wins the game. Let's move to the next example. In this example, it is white to play. As we can see, firstly we have to count whether the king is in the big square. So now, of course, our h pawn has a chance to become a queen, because if this one walks, black pawn is there to catch him, right? So how many steps does this fellow need? This will need 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Mostly the amateurs will make a mistake. They will say this one needs 6 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But my friends, when the pawn is on the second rank, how many steps he can walk? he can walk 2 steps forward. And if he is in a hurry, of course he will go 2 steps. So how many steps are there to become queen? Is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So count 5 steps here. But if you still see 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, the black king is inside it. Let's say we go here and the king comes here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he is inside it. Pawn push and king comes here. And we can clearly see that the black king has come inside the big square. So he is going to catch us. So at this critical starting point, white starts with the move pawn to e5. Challenges black pawn to take him. But if he does not take, we can straight walk and become a new queen in 2 steps. So he must capture us. As he captures, we walk again. King d4, pawn h5, and now see the big square 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Because of his own pawn, the black king cannot enter the big square. So he pushes the pawn. Now we must run. Pawn e3, pawn h7. Of course he cannot do anything. He comes down and we make a new queen. He gives us a check. Where should we go? Of course, in front of the pawn. Now if we place this, we can just give a check like this, capture the remaining black pawns and win the match. We now come to the 4th example of this video. In this example, it is black to play and draw the game. Now you may wonder, the white pawn is going to run forward and the black king cannot catch him. At the same time, the king is easily capturing the black pawn. So how can black find a draw? For example, if we go behind the pawn, he will keep walking, and the moment we walk forward, he will capture us. So what can we do? Here he played king to e2. Now you see what happens. If the white king captures the pawn, we enter inside the big square and we catch the pawn. Right? So that is why when we played king e2, he walks forward. King f3. Again there is a chance for white to take the pawn. But if he does so, we play king e4. And can you see? We have entered inside a big square. How many steps he need? He needs 4 steps. So 4 steps toward this side, and we can see the black king is clearly inside the big square. For example, he will just walk like this and attack the pawn. So what should he do? Let's move back. So this was the point. White decided that I will walk forward. So when he walks forward, black pawn also walks forward. And can you see? The black king is supporting this pawn. So white king cannot take him. Now both the players push their pawns forward. As white makes the queen, black also makes the queen, and this game will now of course result in a draw. So friends, did you understand the concept of big square? If yes, please like my video, subscribe the channel and await for next beautiful lessons. Thank you. Have a good day.